Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Polyriff and welcome. Here we are playing on Zueljin's Patreon server once again, and it's midnight. My favorite time of day, apparently. This is just when things go down, I suppose. You know, this is when I build and this is what happens, I guess. You know, anyone who records Minecraft, I guess what you could note is that as soon as you hit record on whatever recording software you've got, there's a little code in Minecraft that just says rain now or turn night now, because you know it's got to do what you don't want whilst you're recording. And of course, you know, like that, for example. No, that was me pressing the wrong button. Anyway, so yeah, in the last episode I mentioned that I was going to do the roof, and after that clip, after the last clip for the last video, yeah, I went on and I did the roof. I did the whole thing, and I did a little bit of detail and work. I'm not sure if I mentioned that I was going to do detail work in the last episode, but I decided to do that in between the episode as well. But like I said, I did this all after the last video in that one night. I just got it all done. I was like, let's finish this roof. There's a lot of derping around, you know. I did this corner first here, as you can see, and then the next one around there. I did that one second, and then it was different from this corner, and then I went over there and that corner over there and did that corner, and it was different from both of these two. So yeah, I had to go around and take corners out just to kind of make it all match up and look symmetrical and whatnot. But yeah, I went with a bit of an interesting shape for the roof. It kind of goes up and then across and then up and then across and then up, and then you've got those iron bars at the top, and then it's all flat up there. So a bit of an interesting shape, I suppose. Put the iron bars in here just to kind of give it a little bit. I thought that it might work, you know. I thought, you know, why not? But it might not work, so who knows. We'll just kind of have to go with it and see how we go. In the last episode, I know that I mentioned I was going to put the glowstone in, but I'm not sure if I actually did it. So there we go, it is actually done, which is kind of cool. This window here mirrors the one that's over the other side. I mentioned that when I did the walls also, but what I've done is I've taken out the cobblestone walls that were on the other window, and I decided not to add them on this window. As you can see, I've got the black stained glass window panes or glass panes behind the white stained glass. Now, it's kind of cool because it adds a bit of a tint effect, but you know, I know that if I wanted a tint effect, I could have just had the black stained glass behind it, not the white stained glass like I do have. But what's also really cool about it is these kind of lines that go down and across, so it's like a bit of a bar system, I suppose, bit of a grid system with bars and whatnot. So it's kind of like a security screen on the outside of the window, which I think is a really cool thing. I like that. In here, I just decided to add some iron bars because I wasn't too sure what to do in this section. I've got an idea, but I got to go get materials. So yeah, we'll stick with that for a bit and just kind of see how it goes. Now, I know that it would be cool in this area to have it kind of centered, the indented part, so I would have it too wide, but unfortunately, as you can see there, it's nether brick. So yeah, that's a bit sad because it is actually that nether brick there, so if I was to take that out, then the whole window would look weird and the whole thing would just not work. So yeah, I gotta stick with that one. It was just easier to do it that way, and the rest of this build is symmetrical. Now, this area here, I took this out. As you can see, I was unfortunately not on Minecraft for too long this week, or at all during the week. I got on for a little bit, and I kind of cleared this area out. This idea just wasn't working. It wasn't for me. It's not what I'm going to do. So yeah, we're just going to scrap this idea and go on with something else. And yeah, the reason why I only had the capacity to get on during the week and do this, and this alone, is because I was rather sick. So yeah, if people who play on this server and have noticed that I haven't been on, that is why. That's what's happened. So yeah, but it's nothing bad. It's all good. I'm all good now. At least I think I am. Kind of sound alright, don't I? Yeah. So, but yeah, like I was saying, I just decided to scrap that idea there. Now, this idea is my favorite idea, and I didn't receive any input from my last video as to what I should do around this gazebo here, so I'm thinking I'll just make the executive decision and go along with my most favorite idea. Now, this has to be, like, there's got to be a lot more detail. That is going to be a thing. I mentioned that in the last video when I presented these ideas. Yeah, I'm going to do a lot more detail to these kinds of things, but I'm thinking I'll take this idea all the way around and kind of do every quadrant with, or like this, and you know, I just got to change the grass out to be a little bit extra, you know, a little bit more path-like, I suppose, and kind of do something around the edges as well, perhaps on top, perhaps on the bottom, perhaps on both, who knows, perhaps on the sides. We'll just have to see how we go. Like I said, I like to freehand, so I guess what we could do is really could take this down, because I guess I make the decision, and you know, I could take the dirt one down and the spruce one down over there, because I made the decision. We're going with that. That's what's happening. I guess, you know, I kind of, like I said, or may have said in the past, you know, with YouTube, or with this kind of thing altogether, with YouTube, I've wanted to kind of bring across what I used to kind of do on Twitch. And with Twitch, you know, you'll see a lot of it now, but, you know, I used to Twitch like nearly 4 years ago, so it was, you know, it was a kind of a brand new thing for a lot of people, and I used to do it all back then. And you know, for me back then, interacting with the community was a massive thing, so I'd like to bring that across here. This is why I presented all these ideas, but unfortunately I didn't get any input, so we'll just have to wait and kind of hope that at some stage I'm able to do that kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, so, you know, I would like to go back to Twitch, by the way, if anyone was wondering about that kind of stuff. I would really love to go back to doing that kind of stuff, but unfortunately for me at the moment, my internet is just not good enough to handle it. So yeah, I've got a link to my Twitch on my YouTube page, but, you know, you don't have to follow me because I'm not going to get down to actually stream. I don't know when. I don't know when I'm going to have good enough internet. Unfortunately, Australia just is not good in the internet sector. So yeah. Anyway, let's get on with a bit more of this. I suppose I should probably let people see my UI. I kind of show it to myself as well. This here, I was kind of thinking of drawing these slabs out to here. You know, it's not necessarily a hard task. We can kind of get that done now. I'm thinking, you know, we'll probably need about 12 or 9 or something like that. So I was thinking we could just bring these slabs out here and kind of draw the floor out a little bit more. Maybe I could go one more, maybe I could go another one, who knows. You know, I'm thinking another one, so that would be 2. So 6 would be appropriate. Thinking this is good, just so that it's, you know, there's not grass in this section. I don't think that there should be grass here, so, you know, I'm thinking that this kind of works out kind of cool. In this area, as you can see, I did a bit of a pattern as well in between the episodes. I just kind of put some iron bars up there with some glowstone, some sort of different colors between the diorite and the nether brick, like as I like to do, and some depth texture as well, which is kind of cool. I threw some stone brick stairs, kind of thought it would work in this area, and some iron bars and some glowstone, you know. I'm liking it. I think it's a little bit different, you know. It's dark, but it's also light at the same time, so I'm thinking it's kind of cool. But yeah, you know, I think it's a bit of a better step for here. You know, I didn't want to go up too high because I don't want to take away from the nether brick down at the bottom. But on the same hand, I don't want it to be grass, and I don't want it to be a full block, so that kind of works out really cool. But in here, I'm thinking, you know, what's the first thing I could work on? I put the spruce walls in, as you can see, all the way around. Just kind of throw them in. It's not too bad. You know, what it allows me to do now, once I've already done that, it allows me to come back and kind of go, well, you know, look at this, for example. I like this because it has an interesting pattern and some nice depth texture. But what I could do, for example, is kind of take all this out. We could take it all out, for example, you know, because I know what it looked like, and, you know, if I wanted to kind of mix up any colors with the spruce, then it would be easier to add it onto the spruce once it's already in there. Just kind of take out what I don't want and then put in what I do want, and that's kind of where I go with that kind of stuff. But, you know, I'm thinking maybe if I go something like that, I got 3 there, and then I could go another 3 up here, like that, and then maybe we could put in maybe some acacia. This might look a little bit interesting at the moment, but just stick with me. And then this might look a little bit interesting to begin with too, but it should make sense all in the end. This see, I have a bit of an idea of where I'm going with things. Hey, that's not bad. I don't mind that at all. The way that the walls look, they kind of fold behind this design. It kind of makes it look as though that's covering something up and whatnot, even though it's just filling in the corner. And then, yeah, you know, I got these kind of things here which I can put stuff on, like flower pots and other stuff, perhaps, who knows, we'll just have to see. But, you know, I'm thinking that's what I could do for each corner. I like that. That's not too hard of a design to kind of mimic and continue on. So all I have to really do here is just take out all of this spruce, and, you know, this flat wall here, I kind of have to work out something for that as well. Let's see, we'll go with this, because why not? That's not too hard to throw this in. I've already got that, so we're 1, 2, 3, so just skipping the ones in the middle there. Get this acacia back down as well. Fill in the gaps with the acacia. Back to the dark oak. Dark oak, I should try and make myself sound a bit more clearer when I say that, I suppose. And I realized I was going a little bit lower in volume as well. But yeah, you know, I'm thinking that's pretty much a good way to go with that. And what I might also do, I won't go over this side and do that just yet, but what I might also do is I was kind of trying to map out a bit of a, in my head obviously, because that's where a lot of this stuff goes on, I suppose. I was trying to map out a bit of a separator wall, or I'm assuming that these things have names. Look, you know, I used to build them a long time ago when I did that kind of stuff, and I've even forgotten what they've called, so, you know, I'm assuming they have a name. I just don't know what they are at the moment. But the idea is that if I was to come out here, and, you know, this is where you come up with the elevator here, and you look out there, you know, it's kind of a dark wall, you don't really know what's going on. You can see through the window, so you'll kind of know what's going on and whatnot, but it's not like you'll just see straight through the house, looking through the door and through the house completely. You know, seeing this window and looking out even further as well into the sky that is the other side of the floating island, I suppose. So yeah, it's a better way to do things, I think. So I think that was exactly opposite. The only reason I wanted to keep this symmetrical is because the idea that I'm having at the moment is if I put this wall in on this side as well, you know, it will kind of section off this window and make that look a little bit interesting, because then what I could do is have like a bit of a couch down here or something, you know, just for viewing, just to kind of sit down and relax and look out the back window. Again, I'm not really sure about what this whole place is going to be for just yet. I'm thinking it's kind of going to be the starter place, you know, so I could have a bit of a bedroom going on with a bit of a wardrobe as well, you know, something to select armor pieces or clothing, I suppose, whatever you want to call it, in this area. So, you know, I've got some of my beds and stuff like that. You know, little bit of a chillax place here. Chillax? I can't believe I just said that. Anyway, a little place to kind of relax. Sorry. Oh, that was funny. Anyway, a little place to relax and look out the back window here, and then perhaps over here, you know, I could have a little bit of an intro crafting area, so I could make a little bit of a crafting station here. And yeah, now for this video, I should also mention, oh, actually, next thing I want to mention, I'll just skip what I just said there. I gotta work out a little bit of a pattern for up there. You know, we can just throw something in, and then we can kind of mimic it here as well. I think that whatever pattern we work out here should be carried across to here, and keeping the corners different. But whatever I do here should be different to whatever I do in here, if that makes sense. So the corners will be different. I might use different colors, different textures. I might still work out doing the same pattern, but at least doing different colors or something like that. Just something different. You know, I'm scared in this area, right? What I would really like to do is use something lighter to contrast from the spruce, but I'm scared of using birch. But birch, I feel, would work really well. So I'm not too sure about it. I don't want to use stone brick, because stone brick is, I'm thinking that's a nice little shape we could put in there. I like my crosses. We could go across like this. There we go. Yeah, that breaks it up enough, I think. So I want to get some stairs as well, because, oh, stairs? Yeah, stairs. I want stairs. I think stairs will work. Let's see. Oh, okay, we got some acacia. I feel like that might work. Let's just go with that. I don't want to, like, I kind of don't want to use too much acacia on the inside, and same with the dark oak as well, because I feel as though it would contrast too much from the external walls. But on the same hand, you know, I don't mind it. I feel like it's okay. You know, so you might be able to see what I'm doing here with the stairs. I feel like it would just kind of break it up a bit and add a bit more depth to it as well. You know, that's something simple. That's not too bad. Yeah, it's simple, that's for sure. It's definitely simple. I don't mind it, but I feel like it needs something more. And I'm afraid of carrying it across to here, for example. So let's see if I can try to get it there, which I can, and there. So I was kind of afraid of doing that, but let's just try that out and see how that goes. I'm thinking that that's kind of a good thing. Now, I kind of tried to mention before, but didn't quite get through it, and then decided to talk about this instead, is that, you know, it was put forth to me that, you know, perhaps it would be a good idea to slow down a little bit for the next video. At least this is how I interpreted it anyway, just to kind of sit back and do a little bit more extra building, and I'm thinking that's a good idea. I'm accustomed to that and quite okay with it, and that's fine. I think just straight acacia might work good there all the way across. You know, so you guys let me know what you think as well. I'm quite happy with it, but it does mean, you know, what I'm afraid of when it comes to this YouTubing stuff, and I guess I'm kind of letting you in a little bit here as well, is that I kind of feel as though you need to get a certain amount done per episode, but I guess it's not necessarily about that. I guess in a way I am kind of looking at it all wrong. Not necessarily all wrong, I suppose, but just, you know, there are better ways to look at things, and I feel as though that's probably not the best way to look at it. So, you know, if you guys are okay with me kind of slowing it down a little bit and just doing some hefty building, I guess, but just not to the magnitude that I have done before, then, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm quite okay with that. It's all good. Okay, now I'm not too sure about that, but it's no, it has to be like that. Oh, then I'm really not sure about that. Okay, so let's jump up there for a sec, because I'm not sure about that little corner bit. That's kind of what I was trying to poke out there, but it has to be that way. So what I was thinking is I could just put in the full blocks. I think I lost those ones down here. There they are. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so kind of carried that line across and then just did that. So that breaks up the wall a bit more, adds a bit of depth as well. Kind of weird with the glass, a little bit strange, not sure about that, but, you know, at the same time, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think we're going to be alright. Yeah, so, you know, this is kind of what I do. As you saw, I already had the spruce walls down, and I'm thinking, you know, that gives me enough sort of area to work with. You know, it is my boundary. I guess the external wall was my boundary as well, so it's not like I have to kind of make sure I know what my boundaries are. Okay, I heard a mob, but I'm pretty sure he's under the island, because I'm pretty sure there's no spawnable spaces on top of it at the moment, which is good. That may change in the future, but we'll certainly fix that, because I want to get villagers up here at some point and have that whole little bit going. I think that would be kind of cool. But yeah, you know, I decided today to kind of step back, do one cut, one clip, just go for it and see how we go. Now I'm thinking those little bits are showing off in the corners there, so I'm thinking, I just noticed this and it kind of took my attention, so I'm just diverting my attention to that. There we go, reclaim that stair. I kind of don't want to lose too much while I do all this kind of thing, but yeah. I like the way that the, you know, things like this kind of work out in the end. You know, you add a little bit, and then you add a little bit more, and you add a little bit more, and then in the end it all just looks really nice. It just kind of works out and looks really cool. And I like that kind of stuff. I'm sorry to have left those up there. That's fine. Well, let's go on. Let's go and get them. There we go. We got them. It was going to bug me. It really was going to bug me. But anyway, this is what I've done for this section. I think this is kind of cool, and I'm thinking what we can do is we can get some, as I said, I was thinking rather get some beds in here. I'm thinking this corner needs to be different. But I really don't know what I would do, because the only other thing I could do is that, but then that's wrong. That's wrong. I was kind of thinking it needs to be different, but I'm not really sure. If I can't think of a good replacement for it, I'm not going to change it. Yeah, so I think that looks okay. What perhaps I might need to do is pick out a different, no, because then it will contrast too much from that. And yeah, see, stuck in a sticky situation. And then what we could also do is kind of work out stairs as well. For this, I'll make up this many. I'm gonna eat some food so I can run. and there we go. I think 8 should work. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there we go. 3, 4. There we go. So that mirrors what's on the outside, or in fact it doesn't completely. Let's go and make some slabs. I forgot about the slabs part because I remember now that when I did this the first time, I had that little point bit up the top there, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't like that. I wanted it to be flattened out a bit more, like that. Now, this mimics or mirrors what's done on the outside, the external wall, but it will look a little bit weird when you come up here and notice that there is a bit of a in-between thing going on. So it might look a little bit weird, but yeah, you know, I think that looks okay, and it adds a bit to it. Yeah, I think that looks kind of cool. So we're okay with that. Anyway, guys, I think that's probably going to do it for this episode. I'm sorry in the case of, you know, if you didn't like the way that this episode has flown. But on the same hand, you know, you got to understand, I guess I'm going to talk for a little bit in this closing bit as well. You know, I'm just searching, I guess. You know, YouTube is something that I'm very interested in doing, but at the same time, you know, it's very hard to get anywhere at the start. So, you know, it's hard to kind of invest everything into it. But my prerogative is that I am very analytical, and I like to decide, I like to gather information and decide things based off that information that I gather. If only I could talk as well, that would be amazing. That would probably make me a good YouTuber. Anyway. Yeah, so I like to gather a lot of information about everything, so I try out different things every video. In this video, as you can see, I did as much work as I could on camera. I did a lot of work on camera. Everything that has been done today has been done on camera. This is just one straight cut, and all my faults are in here as well, so you know, that's just the way that this episode has gone. And you know, I will base my decisions off you know, how many views I get and all that kind of stuff. So you know, I guess, you know, we'll see how this episode goes and what the response is like, and, you know, whether we go back to doing stuff like this, or maybe I can mix it up again in the future and we'll have an episode where I do a lot of building in one episode and get a whole bunch done, but perhaps not do much talking, or perhaps building on screen without, you know, the use of a time-lapse or such effect. And, you know, then we can go back to this kind of stuff, so we can alternate. I've figured that's kind of a cool way to do things. Who knows? It's all about searching. That's all it is about. And, you know, for anyone else who's thinking of YouTube, or, you know, looking to start up with this kind of stuff as well, that's kind of my advice to anyone who would like to do stuff like this. You know, I'm starting out with it as well. I'm relatively new to it and all of that, and I haven't got, you know, I'm no PewDiePie, I guess, but on the same hands, you know, people will find me in the end. But the point is, you know, the best thing that you can do is just keep trying things out. Just keep searching until you find, you know, what works for you and what works well, I guess. And that's what I'm about. I'm about just looking around and trying different things and seeing what works and what doesn't work. So yeah, and I was just thinking, I was looking at this wall for a little bit. I just want to mention this as well. I was looking at this wall for a little bit, and then I look back over here and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, okay, this looks way better than like, I know it's going to look better than that, but it looks better now that I looked away from it and then looked back again. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm very sorry for the massive outro, and I'm also sorry for saying sorry. Apparently, I say sorry too much. I'm just a very apologetic person. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff if you feel like it. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one, and yeah, have a good day and night and all of that kind of stuff. Goodbye.